Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything.
There's a lot going on in the world. But more importantly, you got bangs.
I do. And I actually, I tried to make them better for our call. Before they were kind of like this.
Oh, no, don't part them. Don't Dwight Schrute them.
It is. That's exactly my Dwight Schrute bangs. Yeah.
But you like the way they look when they cut them. You didn't cut them yourself, right?
No, I got them cut
okay.
and they looked good and they looked like stylish, but now they kind of just look like a chunk. And I guess that's on me.
No, you've been brainwashed by social media thinking that girls with like beachy wave hair like just wake up like that. And while the chosen few do, everybody's hair looks a little weird before they style it. So maybe, yeah, I think the bottom is just too heavy.
Yeah, everything. Because I let it all air dry this morning. So I need to figure it out. But my hairdresser too is he was like, you know that bangs are more maintenance, and since you get your hair cut every 6 to 8 months, I want to make sure that that's fine. And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll put in the work. And then I just took a shower last night, went to bed, didn't dry my hair, and woke up to a real like Lord Farquaad helmet.
I was the whole time I was like, do not say Lord Farquaad to her. Do not say it. Okay, did they give you a cut or a shaping?
I got a cut. I got a lot cut off. Okay, and they cut a lot out of my bangs. And
people write into this podcast for my advice, and to have you not take the advice that I've been saying to you for years before you even ever got your hair cut.
I mean, it got thinned out for the first time. It all got like thinned out, like everything.
No. Where did you go?
To my stylist.
Who works at the mall?
No, in a boutique. Okay. But here's the problem. My mom goes to the same stylist, and I went over to her house, and she goes, "You look just like me." And I go, "Oh."
Well, that shouldn't matter. I went to my mom's colorist for years it's like, did you point at a wall of moms like a Puerto Rican barbershop and you're like, give me the number 4? give me the library mom.
No, if I told my sole inspiration for this haircut was Natalie Portman in May, December.
Oh, but that movie, takes place in like a beach community in North Carolina, not exactly
it's in
Fashion
Georgia.
Week. Okay, let me know the difference fashion wise. And like not exactly like ground zero for Fashion Week. Look, I need to see it. You said you ordered a flat iron. I hate the idea of you putting unnecessary heat on your hair, but I think your hair is strong enough to take it. Show it to me when you flat ironed it and maybe watch a tutorial. There's no shame in tutorials.
I know. I was Googling and then I was just so mad at finding all these Reddit threads of people like, I feel like my bangs are too thick. And then it's just someone with the most stunning hair you've ever seen. And I'm like, you just came to this thread for compliments. You didn't need help at all.
I want to see your hair piled on top of your head with tendrils in front of your ears and the bangs.
That's
very comic book. It would be just like a couple pieces. Okay. That might save this.
I just
that would
texted
look amazing.
You. Here's what it
Do
looked
it now.
like after.
Can you just put your hair up now?
Can I?
Put it up above your ears. I've never seen it above your ears.
It's too chunky.
You have to have the tendrils.
Look,
She didn't
I got
shape it.
one tendril.
Who gives this haircut? There's no shape. Okay, you know what? I am so mad at you for not listening to me when it comes to your personal choices. All right, whatever. We'll deal with it later. You got to grow into it. You got to flatten it. Other people who actually take my advice are on the line.
Are on the line. I just texted you. Look at the picture I just texted you. This was what it looked like
Cool,
when
this
I
is
liked it.
Great for a podcast. Yes, Emily, that's the fucking vibe. Okay,
yes,
so she
that
gave
was
you
how it
a
looked
bit
Saturday.
of a Rachel on the bottom. Here's what you need. I'm going to tell you right now. Ready?
Please.
You need a big round brush so
Okay.
that when you do dry it, you're curling it under.
So I ordered a boar's bristle because something
Yes.
said that's what I should go. Okay.
Yes.
I have that, a comb, and a mini flat iron coming tomorrow.
Okay, you don't need a mini flat iron because you don't have delicate hair, but fine. You got flat iron.
For
It's
the bangs.
round. It doesn't matter. It's rounding it, a little Shannon Doherty, but I think you like Charmed.
Oh, yeah,
round
of
it.
course.
Yeah. Okay, that looks great. And are you in a leather jacket? No, it's a fleece,
No.
of course. All right, whatever. All right, moving on. Very cool. Get that cat out of here. Nobody wants to see that haircut and that cat. Let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get it out of here.
Oh, boy. Okay. WWID. Do you know what that stands for?
When would I do it?
Almost.
What would Eliza do?
Eliza do instead of JD.
I was like, what would I do? Oh, remember that? That fad? Those plastic bracelets that are now in a landfill?
Oh,
Speaking
boy.
of religion, real quick.
Oh, boy.
I had my United Hot Sala benefit the other night. Can I tell you? I programmed it perfectly. We had Catherine McPhee come and she sang Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, which is among the more Christian sounding songs, but it's written by a Jew about the Bible. And it's one of the most beautiful songs in the world. And if you're young, you know it from Shrek. And I still don't know why it's in Shrek. She opened it. It was gorgeous. People were crying.
Yeah, she's an incredible voice.
Had a representative from Hot Sala come who's done something like over 10,000 rescue missions. And Mayim interviewed him and I gave a speech. And then we had Chen Mazig, who co-founded the Tel Aviv Institute, which is all about combating anti-Semitism online. But I didn't want to keep people just standing there for hours. So it was all 45 minutes. It was awesome. And we raised over $100,000. So if you donated, or if you were just with me in spirit, thank you so much. This is money that goes to people who help everyone on the ground, not just Jews. It's any Israeli on the ground.
What lucky person got the Sharon Stone painting? I was jealous.
I don't know
You
if I
can't
can tell you.
reveal. I guess you can't reveal. Yeah. You
Let
can't
me
say
say-
who spent money.
Another celebrity bought it.
Good. It should be in a
Yeah.
celebrity's home.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
bought it
very
for you,
cool.
but you have to come pick it up.
And Catherine McPhee is such a good singer.
She
she's
is
so talented.
So talented. And not to take away from that, she is gorgeous in person.
That's a good head of
And
hair.
And a good ant cheekbones,
Oh,
high up. And I looked her up and we are almost the same age. And I'm like, well, I have no excuse.
Is she?
If she looks like that.
What is
She's
she
39.
Okay. All right.
She's stunning. Anyways, very gracious. And it was a beautiful night. Chelsea Handler came out.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. And it was just great. And I was really proud of what we did. So just whatever you're thinking of doing, whoever you're thinking of helping, hopefully it's not Hamas, but whatever charity, just remember that you have a power to do something and people want to help.
Can you
Just give
imagine
them some tasty snacks.
if I'm cold emailing celebrities? Hi, I'm doing a benefit for Hamas. Is there anything you can donate to my cause?
Literally half of Hollywood would be like, yep, I am aligning myself with this because I'm ignorant and don't know what's going on.
Well,
People would love
half
to.
of
They'd be like,
anyone.
Hamas is misunderstood. And to quote sort of a delisted, I'm not going to say celebrity, but person in comedy who I think said Hamas, they aren't all bad apples. It's they rape women and kill children. These are all bad apples.
I do have to say, I look, obviously it's a nice thing you did. It is very hard to organize this kind of thing and to get stuff for charity and to get it all above board and to get the silent auction going or the auction going. It's a lot of administrative work, and it's very hard to get things that people actually want. So like kudos on putting together like a very cool eclectic mix of of items.
I am never doing it again. It was really hard.
It's so hard.
Sorry, I did my part. Have a great day. Hags. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
All right, so WWID. How is Iliza handling visitors who want to meet baby boy? Hi, Iliza and Emily. Wednesdays are my favorite thanks to you two. Thanks for being such a midweek treat. I like
no
that.
problem. We get
Midweek
described
treat.
People are like, I wait for Wednesdays. And I like that Wednesday has become not a hump, but a fun dump. Okay.
As a notorious people pleaser, my question revolves around how to channel my inner Mama Bear the way Iliza does with no hesitation. I'm due with baby number 2 shortly before Iliza, also a boy, and my question is twofold. 1, how does Iliza plan to handle visitors, grandparents, close friends, family mostly, who want to meet baby boy shortly after he's born, particularly around protecting him from germs? And 2, my question, am I being too extreme by making the grandparents and any aunts who want to visit get up to date on their flu, COVID, and Tdap shots? Now we have a little additional context, which is I did this with my first, who is now 4. And was met with annoyance, but little resistance, mostly because everyone was so eager to meet the first grandchild. So they were more understanding. That was right before COVID. Now, any mention of any vaccine turns into a political debate. Okay, so one more piece. Other than the shots thing, hand washing, sanitizer for all guests with my first, we welcome pretty much anyone who wanted to visit. Sure enough, she got RSV at 2 months old, and it was really scary.
That's awful.
Right.
There's your proof right there. Look, you could do people with no vaccine. I mean, it's annoying to like go to a doctor, get the vaccines, but the elderly should definitely be doing these things anyway. I know since COVID, we've decided that all science is based on personal feelings. And somehow most shots are fine except for the COVID one. And we don't need to get into that. COVID, whatever. I don't really want to get into that one, but Tdap, all of these things that babies are susceptible to, there are no follow-up questions.
Yeah.
You just need everybody to get these shots, especially because babies can't get those shots for a little bit. You don't have to be a maniac. You can come over. You can't hold the baby. You can't breathe on the baby, but I can show you the baby. You have to this all comes down to you knowing in your heart what is best and what is right. And you don't, when you know you are right, you don't really feel the need to defend yourself. Whatever they say back, you're like, that's fine. We can wait till they're older. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But this is how we're choosing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to, there's nothing to be said. It's just, this is what we're choosing to do.
Right.
People start to sound really dumb. And it happens a lot when they're telling you why your feelings are upsetting them. It's like, then don't interact. Do I come into your house and explain to you why it's okay that I take a dump in your living room? No.
It's also like, when you go to someone's house and like take your shoes off, like, sorry, like they want to come over, they want to see your baby. It's your rules. Even if your rules were like, you can only wear pink when visiting the baby because her eyeballs are tired. Like, sorry, that's what you got to do if you want to visit the baby.
And you have to you want them to see the baby, but your desire to keep your kids safe has to supersede any other want. And I say that only because there are plenty of times I'm like, I want her to eat healthy, but I really want to see her eat this snack. And it's like, no, we got to do what's best for the baby. So it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't fucking matter. And this will be add to a long list of things where like you've made the decision and sometimes you'll be wrong and sometimes it is a personal preference. This is about your baby's health and safety and you live through it.
Yeah.
If anyone says anything, be like, first one got RSVP and it was horrible. So especially given that you know what we went through with that, we really request that everybody be up to date on their shots as they should anyway. Although if I didn't have kids, I would not think twice about any of these shots. But yeah. Tdap.
We have a really important follow-up about something that happened to you, not about something that happened to someone else, titled Olive Oil Cake Incident. Hello, Pod Squad. I don't have a question or a red hot update. I would call this red hot. But I can't stop thinking about the olive oil cake incident that Iliza experienced and discussed on a recent Bottom of the Cob.
I think incident is putting a little strong.
Catastrophe.
One where we went to the restaurant and they were decorating cakes.
Yeah. I am a chef, and the restaurant I work in serves olive oil cake, which I make 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm always reminded of, quote, the incident. Olive oil cake is very flavorful and moist, but not the cake one should use for a cake decorating contest. This type of cake doesn't even typically get served with frosting, let alone the amount of frosting an amateur cake decorator would probably pile on. Sorry you had to witness this disaster, Iliza. Katie from Austin.
Thank you, Katie. I mean, I hope that wasn't too triggering for you to hear about me having to watch people do something with their personal cakes. The part that was upsetting too was it was like a private club. Like I saw the advertisement for that class and the image wasn't an olive oil cake. So I think either something went wrong or in typical LA fashion, they put someone in charge who kind of didn't know what was going on and had no real sense of taste. And they were like, oh, but they're a trained chef. It's like, doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. Or some program director just did that, or they got the olive oil free. But it's very LA to be like, it's an elevated, escalated, high-end event, but we're going to drop the ball at the last minute because art is comprised of lunatics thinking they know what they're doing. So it's like one year when I went to, I'm not going to name the party, but it was a pretty big like Golden Globes after party. Like it's like one of the ones. And I brought Noah. We had just started dating. And I was like, isn't this great? He's like, they're serving macaroni in steam trays. He's like, you have like the mayor of LA and Drake eating out of a fucking steam tray. I'm like, yeah, that's a bad look. So money can't buy you class.
Hello, AIA team. Love you all, and I eagerly await your advice. How do I break up with my, quote, long-term and long-distance boyfriend? I use quotes around long-term because real time, it's not that long. Calendar time equals 7 years. In-person time equals 2 to 3 years. Here's a bulleted and I hope concise list of context for your consideration. Ooh. Me, female, 40. Him, 42, male. Met over 7 years ago working in the same field. I'm on the East Coast. He's on the West Coast. I've made multiple trips to see him. He's only come to me a few times. I don't want to move back to where he is. He won't move to me because of family obligations. He is dealing with taking care of his mom, who is just now getting released from the hospital after a few days. He lost his job about a year ago and hasn't made any progress in getting a new job. He even said he is not actively looking. I also learned he's in a ton of tax debt. 6 figures.
This guy's got to be so hot because why else would you bother?
I am at a point in my life, no kids, by the way, where I'm focused on enjoying my success and saving for retirement. He's just not there. I love him, but I've come to realize he's not my future. How do I approach the breakup conversation? Seems like a dick move to do it over FaceTime, but that's our relationship. Do I do it over FaceTime? Do I fly out there and do it in person? How do I do this? In my professional life, I have no problem approaching conflict head on, but I've never had to do this before. In my personal life, he is my first boyfriend. Send help. P.S. Traveled to D.C. to see your show. Iliza, your perfection. Where are they traveling from?
Somewhere else on the East Coast, which is great.
Yeah.
2 things. One, this guy is, I say that he's handsome because the way he is operating smacks of like things just come to me. And I don't get from what you're saying that he's like expecting you to take care of him, but he seems kind of like there's nothing about this relationship that suggests like a burning hot passion. Like you're saying, he doesn't really come see you. He probably doesn't come see you because he can't afford to do so. He's just taking life at a different pace than you. It's going to suck to break up with him. So be like, my mom just got out of the hospital. You're like, I could wait till she dies and then it'll be even worse. So it actually doesn't matter how you do it. Because depending on the kind of guy that he is, and if he really does like you, you will be faulted for it no matter how you do it. I can't believe it was a phone call. I can't believe you didn't fly here. I can't believe it was a FaceTime. I can't believe you want this. But it doesn't actually matter because the end result you want is to be broken up with this person. And he won't be able to hear if he really cares for you, if he's really into this relationship that's not really a relationship. He won't be able to hear that you're like, I love you and this is the best that I could do. He'll just maybe focus on how it hurt him, which is selfish. Or he'll be like, okay, yeah, I get that. Either way, you're going to be out of it. If you're unfairly cast as a bad person, who cares? It's not like you have anything in common. You don't have friends in common. You're not going to have to see him again. And he'll come around eventually. Or he's okay with it. Do it over FaceTime. Because that's the closest you can get to him. And just be like, I have so much love for you. We spent so much time together, but I just feel that I'm not at a place where this is working for me anymore. And that's it. You'd be like, I don't really, he might be like, what would I do? And you don't have to tell him a piece of shit and be like, you're unmotivated and I don't want to take care of you financially or inherit your debt. But you can be like, I'm just at a place where I want to be with someone that I can see all the time. And I thought this was going to work and it just isn't. That's it. I bet you he goes quietly, but what you want is to be out of this relationship and to enjoy your life. So by any means necessary, and you do it from the highest light. That way you can feel good. You know that you did it the best way you could.
Yeah.
It's not like you broke up with him on a Post-it note. It's funny that you asked that because I have had this happen a couple times in my life recently. And I'm like, what is going on? Where like I did something the best way that I really could. and you still get faulted for not doing it a different way. And you're like, my conscience is clean. Like, I did this in a class act way, and you just want to complain. So,
yeah,
nothing you can do but what you do. When I tell you I am gripping my dog's chest so that she doesn't lose her mind.
Keep her quiet.
At the cleaning person who she sees every week and who gives her plenty of treats.
Hi, Liza. Emily, the teeny cheeny and little miss. I have a revolting, to me, dilemma. My brother, 7 years younger than I, is a junior at a college I don't want to mention. Anyway, to earn extra money while in school, he is having sex, not as a prostitute, but as a performer for porn videos online. I get that you have to pay to see them, but it's still videos of him having sex. His face, not just his penis, is out there for anyone to recognize. Personally,
who wants to see a guy's face? Like, what? Show me that face. That's weird.
Well, I feel like if they're shooting porn videos, it's hard to crop out the head.
No, it's not. Nope, it's remarkably easy.
Personally, I find it repugnant, maybe because I'm out in the business world now, but there's so many things I hate about this, not to mention his social life and business life becoming seriously affected when he gets out. He says he doesn't think about it, but likes getting paid. Can't he work at McDonald's? Anyway, I don't care how much he shuts this off in his mind. His body is still doing it. What are your thoughts and advice on this behavior? He sometimes listens to you. He won't listen to me. Loved your movie on Netflix, by the way. Humiliated on his behalf.
Well, again, you can't tell anyone in their 20s anything because, again, they already know everything. So he totally understands the way the real world works. And he totally understands public perception and cyber safety risks and safety risks in general. And he understands, at this age that, of course, you're only going to ever want jobs that love that your full face and penis are in a video. And, of course, you'll never run for office. And he must know all these things. Look. Mentally, men can have sex a lot more than women, and it doesn't break them in the same way. And that has to do with anatomy and biology and the fact that women receive and men give in terms of like actual sex. I know you're unfamiliar, Emily, but I'm just telling you. It is more intimate for women, even just for the fact that we are like taking a penis into us, and men that's why they can just sleep around and it's whatever. It's just the way that they're designed. But treating something like sex, like he also has to think about the fact that you're going to meet a woman one day who is going to be repulsed by the fact that you did this. Women give men a lot of leeway. Like you could have slept with all these women. Like he was a player and then he met me. We don't hold it against men the way they hold it against us. And that has a lot to do with biology, but mostly the Bible and casting women as whores for wanting any pleasure or having sex with anyone. One day he won't be able to hear it now, but you're going to meet women that you would like to be with, that you'd be great with otherwise, that aren't going to want to be with you because they think what you did is disgusting and they're going to have to explain it to their parents. And it is your private parts and it's not meant for the world to see. And you're making money now, but you are losing money in the long run. You will, I don't know what he plans on doing, but you're going to college. So you obviously want some sort of job that pays something unless you want to like be a performance artist forever. So you're cutting off your nose to spite your face because you're making a couple grand now, but you will, unless this is like OnlyFans and you are raking it in financially in the future, you are limiting yourself. What's the point of going to college if you want people to get a job because people can just see your penis and they don't want to deal with that with HR? It's, you can also tell him, people aren't going to like this. It's a low look. It's not something that people with education do. It's not something that would he ask him, be like, would you want to date a girl or marry a girl who is just like all over the internet having sex? It takes away something sacred about it. And I know Gen Z and the internet, it's like, it's empowering. I can do it for me. These things have ramifications.
Well,
which is why people do them as a last resort. And no, he can't go work at McDonald's because it doesn't pay enough. He probably makes more.
I feel like maybe it's kind of like how it used to, they'd say like, oh, if you got a tattoo, you're not going to be able to get certain jobs. Right now, if somebody finds out that you're doing sex work online, you're not going to be able to get certain jobs. And maybe that will change. But right now, that's the case. And as long as he's aware of that, like what else can you do besides
Yeah,
tell
but it's not
him-
even that. Like, let's say you don't get a job. Fine. You get in an argument with someone. You get in a legal dispute. You get in a political dispute. You want any path in life, someone can just go pull up like videos of you ejaculating. And you're like, you don't have to take this person seriously. So it's just a little short-sighted. The other path is he becomes some sort of entrepreneur, billionaire online, and it's like cool that he did this. Like, yeah, there's a version where you carve your own path and you don't need anything from anyone. Like, if I found out there were Elon Musk sex tapes, I'd be like, no, I'm never gonna watch that. But also, like, who cares? You can write your own ticket. So I just think it's a little short-sighted. That's all. Sorry, I can't stop burping. I'm gonna have a baby in like 6 weeks. I ate a big corned beef sandwich before I got on
All right.
Before I got on this mic.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked you ate
Whatever.
the biggest sandwich you could find right before recording.
It is the one I could find. I'm like, what's the worst thing I could eat? Oh, anything because I'm pregnant? Cool. Stop, Taylor. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I had a very tender moment. Like, you lay your body down at the end of the night. You can't sleep on your back or your belly, so you lay on the side. And I was sleeping probably at like 3 a.m. I don't know what happened. I burped or had a bad dream, but I woke up for a second and, you kind of moan because your body aches. You're just like, ugh, ugh. And Noah like gently like pet me and he put a blanket over me. And it was such a sweet moment. And I told him this morning, I go, I felt you do that. And I was like, I feel like this like beached walrus, like, he was like, he didn't miss a beat. He's like, it's like when they have to put like wet towels on an orca, like on a shark for like transporting it, like, like keep it hydrated. He's like, I put the blanket on you, like,
That's very sweet.
very sweet. Maybe that's the episode name.
How do I type that?
Just type in marine mammal moaning.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow, and the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
All right. We have a follow-up again, not from the person who wrote the question, but I think this is helpful and interesting. It's a follow-up to December 27th episode Bridesmaid Drama for the woman whose mom has ALS. Dear Iliza and Emily, I'm an avid listener of the podcast. It brings laughter to my life, and listening to you strong, independent, bold women has helped me gain self-confidence in my personal and professional life. I was compelled to write it after listening to the December 27th episode about the woman whose mother has ALS. My mom passed away last October, 8 years after being diagnosed with a degenerative brain disease. Many of her end-stage symptoms were similar to those in ALS, including losing the ability to walk, speak, and eventually swallow. My dad was also, now this is the woman whose husband is now her caretaker, and the kids are having it. The dad doesn't seem to be as compassionate towards their mother as they would like him to be. He's getting very frustrated and angry because he's taking care of her. So Our new writer-inner says, my dad was also my mom's caretaker. It took an incredible physical and emotional toll on him. My sister and I tried to be there for him as much as we could, but he is stubborn and refused most offers of support, help, and advice. This was often frustrating and at times made things harder than necessary, but his devotion to her was incredible, and my sister and I rolled with it the best we could. At the end, my dad declined a feeding tube, which my sister and I completely supported. Many of the side effects are awful, and because my mom had deteriorated so much, she was basically vegetative. It seemed cruel to prolong her life. So I'm reading this because remember this, our question asker said that the mom didn't want the feeding tube. So
right.
I vividly remember those feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, sadness, and anger. I have no idea how long ago she wrote to you and if her mom is still with us, but I wanted to suggest she contact ALS.org and also see if there's a local hospice chapter in her area that could offer support resources and care for her mom and extended family. The Alzheimer's Association and Cincinnati Hospice were huge sources of support for my family. I'm not sure how it works in other places, but my parents receive health supplies, medication equipment, a wheelchair, in-home visits by a nurse, and 24-hour support over the phone. So I think we talked about looking into other resources like through insurance, but I think this is really important as well that to look into ALS specific resources.
This is one of the beautiful parts of our pod. We said resources and then she got specific. I love it.
Yeah, that there's that. And then there's like someone who knows all about olive oil cake.
We are diverse.
Yeah.
Our audience contains multitudes.
They do. Hi, Iliza, Emily, and pod crew. I've gotten through so many tough situations with your advice, and I have changed my approach to many situations. Thank you.
She's like, I have no friends left, and I'm jobless now because of you.
Thank you
At least I stand up for myself.
Thank you for your timeless advice and fuck it attitude towards making people uncomfortable when they make you uncomfortable. So, yeah. I'm writing today with a situation that just seems to keep popping up. I, female, 25, have two friends who I love dearly, but who don't seem to understand that since I am in grad school and not working, I'm on clinical rotations for PT school and studying for my board exams, and at the moment, also on medical leave for surgery to repair a herniated disc. They always come up with fun things to do that come with a cost. Most recently, dinner and a movie. I responded with a suggestion to see a Saturday matinee show since those are cheaper, and they said dinner and drinks would be more fun, so I said I would meet them at the theater, citing that I could not afford to eat out right now. They then offered to just pay for my dinner and drinks. Without sounding too proud to accept, how do I get them to understand that while I appreciate them trying to include me, it makes me feel worse when they offer to pay for me? I love them and want to spend time with them, but my fiance and I are saving for a home, paying for school, planning a wedding, and he's just starting in his career, all adding up to us not having much extraneous income. They are always mostly understanding about it, but I can't help but be frustrated when they continue to suggest things that cost money. Even more frustrating is when I do try to approach the subject, I get told the dinner out isn't that bad or $50 isn't that much. Icing on the cake is that one is also getting married soon and wants to take a 7-day trip to Vegas, and the other doesn't understand why I said I can't go. 7 days.
Is she checking into a rehab clinic? 7?
I can't justify
Are
spending the
you
money.
walking there?
Right, 7 days. May or may not be relevant, but children are a very real plan for our future, but not for either of my girlfriends. So when I tell them we're saving for a house and to start a family, they always tell me I can go out save later. It's hurtful they can't seem to support our saving life goals. Help, your ever faithful Wednesday morning listener, C.
See, first of all, when did people stop giving their names? Second of all,
They have secrets.
this really has less to do with the money. You might be a little frugal. This more has to do with you guys are in very different places. This is not about breaking up with your friends. These girls seem perfectly fine. You have a fiance, right?
Yeah. So planning a wedding, trying to buy a house.
Trying to buy a house, and you're in grad school. You're planting all of these seeds for your life. And to be honest, like it doesn't really, at 25, you're pretty young and that's great. And so of course, like everybody wants to like go out then, but you seem a little mature for your age in a good way. It's not in your purview to be like, yeah, I'd love to go get like wasted and go get dinner and not continue to save for these goals. Like that's just not where your head is, especially even if none of the other things were happening. Being in grad school, we hear from a lot of grad school students that are like, I just don't have the money. And they're going to look at you and be like, oh, but you hang out with your fiance and you have money for all this other stuff, which is really no one's business. whatever you do, this needs to be done in person. That way, no tone is inferred. And you say to them, be like, I just want to sit with you guys because I'm always blown away by how inclusive you are and generous in your offering. But I just need an understanding going forward that I love being invited. I have no problem being honest with you and being like, I can't afford it. So don't feel like you can't invite me. And if you get tired of it, you get tired of me saying I can't, I get that too. But I have no problem being honest. But I also need you to know, like, I really don't want you paying for me because it's cute, like, once in a very great while.
It's a
but you
super
don't.
special event. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like I want you to pay for me and it's not like you owe it to me. I just don't want to say all of this at the expense of our friendship because I love you guys so much. Like, we can always, you guys want to go out and spend drinks and chase that. And that's great. And I will meet you where I can. So I just kind of want the space and the option to be like, I can't make it. And I don't want you to think that it has anything to do with you. I'm on a very tight budget and I'm in grad school. Maybe after grad school, it'll be easier. I always want to see you guys. I always want to hang out with you guys. I always want to talk to you guys. But like, I just can't do some of the things that you want to do. And I just want you to know where that's coming from. And if they can't hear that, and they won't, because they're right, it isn't that bad. It isn't that expensive, but it does add up. And maybe you are being a little too strict because you're annoyed that they aren't hearing you. It's not the worst thing if you do it like once a month. So you tell them, you'd be like, I'll try to do what I can. But girls at that age, it tends to, of course, they want to see you. But there's this like group think of like, why can't you do what the group is doing? So it becomes, whether they realize it or not, a little less about you and a little more like, we're all doing this. Why can't you? And by the way, because I've had this friend, like, you also don't want to be the friend that shows up and is like, I'll just have a small salad. Like, you want to participate. Like the friend that shows up and is like, I'm just not going to drink. You're like, no, we all want to be on the same wavelength.
That's why I think what frustrated me is that you're saying, yes, let's do a movie and drinks, but let's do a matinee. And they're like, no, nighttime is better. No, go to like an 11 a.m. movie and then get like 2 p.m. $6 margarita of the month at Chili's. Like, there are ways. You're not saying let's never go anywhere. Let's stay inside.
No, because this is the friend version of we have McDonald's at home, like the Eddie Murphy bit. Like, you want to do the thing in the way that you want to consume it. They want to go out. They want to go get drunk. They want to have a Saturday night out, and that is not in your budget. Plus, you don't want to. You're engaged. You probably have a paper due. Like, you're just not there at this moment. And so you guys are looking to get different things out of this. Their hang time involves an upcharge, a markup because of the certain time of day it is, probably getting a little drunk and being out in the night. And your hang time is like quality time. And it's just two different objectives. So say what you mean. And if they can't handle it, then those aren't really your friends. And by the way, you won't be friends in a few years, but okay, you can come back to me and let me know. Okay.
Hello, sweet Iliza, sweet Emily, adorable human puppies, and tiny floofy animals. I am a 35-year-old female, and my husband is a 40-year-old male. We've been together for 10 years, married for 6. My family lives out of state in Utah, and I get to see them about 3 times a year if I'm lucky. I am no longer Mormon, and neither is my family. My father-in-law passed away 2 years ago. My mother-in-law still lives here in Florida. We have dinner with her every Sunday since we have been together, help her with whatever she needs, etc. My family goes on vacation every year, and a lot of the time, I'm unable to go with them because of work or my husband and I already having something planned. We have a timeshare in Mexico, and we are going in March for my mom's birthday. My husband has zero interest in going to Mexico and has never gone with us. He tells me he doesn't want to go, and before I've just gone without him, but each time it's a huge argument. For example, 2 years ago, my mom's sister and I went to Europe on a girls' trip. It was our first time going on a girls' trip and our first time to Europe. After telling my husband, he didn't speak to me for a week and then said that we never talked about me going with them, which was completely untrue. My question, should I feel guilty about going without him? What can I say to him that will shut down in any argument? We go on vacations of our own each year, whether that's little weekend trips, going to Savannah, or driving the 18 hours to Michigan to see his family from Florida with my mother-in-law. I never complain when we go there every Sunday for dinner. How can I tell him, like, I feel like my family takes a backseat to his? Sorry to ramble. I work in aviation, and recently a position opened up about 30 minutes away from my hometown, and I was very interested in applying. My end game has always been to end up back in Utah at some point. My husband knows this, and I've always been upfront and honest with him. When I brought this up to him, he flipped out, saying how he couldn't leave his mom. He said this before his dad passed away, and I understood. I've never asked him to leave his family because I know how hard it is to be away from mine, but when is the right time to have this conversation? I'm scared he's going to put this off and it's going to end in me leaving him. What is your wise advice? WWID. Thank you in advance. I love listening to you. And Emily, wishing you safe travels on all your adventures. Kate.
It's weird because I was like, the time to have this conversation was years ago, but you
got
did.
Married? Right.
But you did. And he was like, it's fine, but these things don't matter.
Right.
Like a prenup, even without kids, doesn't matter once you have the kids. It's great that you guys support his mom, and that's very kind of you to commit to seeing her that often. Does it have to do with guilt? Like, is he afraid if he goes on that vacation, then his mom won't be set up? I do know people like this where like the excuse is the parent. So they can't ever do anything, even though there are plans that could be made for those 2 weeks for the parent. I've seen that before. There's something with the mom. There's a guilt he feels. There's an attachment issue. Because what you're describing to me is incredibly myopic and selfish. And it's weird. I would be interested to know his side of this. So you're like, hey, my family wants to take a vacation. We never get to spend time with them. It's a week in Mexico. I'd like you to go. And he doesn't want to. Who cares if he wants to go? He's got to go.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's very weird. There's something going on here. And I think it has to do with the mom. Could you bring the mom? Is that doable?
Yeah.
Is it worth saying, like, we will leave Monday morning and be back Saturday night so we can still have dinner with her Sunday? Is it worth saying we've scheduled someone to have dinner with her? Like, you can't live a life so stringent that one Sunday out of years of marriage, you can't take off to be with your family. And what about your family? What are his answers to this? That's the part of this that I'm missing. And as far as the trip to Europe, I mean, what man wants to go on a girls' trip? It just feels really one-sided. Unless he makes a ton of money and you say you work in aviation and like you make almost nothing or you dabble in it. I'm just saying there's a respect balance here. That's not, something's missing.
I think it's the fact that he's like, I don't want to go to Mexico. I won't go to Mexico. And she's like, okay, then I'll go by myself. What? No. Like, so you're just supposed to stay at home with him except when you're traveling with his mother. Like, that's so shitty.
Right.
There's no compromise there. How have you put up with this whole time? You go with him. You drive in the car 18 hours with him and his mother to visit his family.
No,
and
we
he
don't
won't
need to
go have
rehash it.
vacation with you.
We know all this. I feel like there's something missing. And I'm wondering what's missing is, have you never said anything before? And he's like, I thought you loved doing all this. I don't know. Because he's acting like he's being blindsided by this. So maybe you were never vocal. Maybe now it's important to you that you want to do it. But regardless, like, being in a marriage is hanging out with each other's in-laws, even if it's inconvenient. And you both agree to say kind of nothing about who's annoying and you just do it. So something wasn't said by you, or this guy is a total selfish dolt and you're just now realizing it.
The bigger piece as well is not the vacation question, but that you eventually want to move back to Utah, and he clearly has no plans to ever do that. I would guess.
I mean, that's a tough one, because that's like when people get together and they're like, I don't want kids, and then you do, and it's like, I always thought that, I don't know, like it wasn't. That one's a little bit tougher, but it might be like he has an issue and it feels guilt and is so attached to his mom that it cripples everything. And like, now I'm nervous, like when she dies, like, is he going to be weird? It sounds like you really need a therapist, because this doesn't look good for the future in any scenario.
Right. It's like,
he also doesn't seem like he's going to be like open to like going to therapy, but you need someone on your side. You need someone to explain both sides.
To talk out the logic of like what's fair and what's, sometimes we do things we don't want to do.
Something's missing. Something's missing because his reactions seem illogical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please let us know.
Hey, Al. Love the pod. I've listened to every episode, as every single human should, and put into practice Eliza's advice, so thank you. On a recent episode, Iliza requested unusual questions, so I have one. What's a good nickname for my boyfriend's mom. We've been together for 2 years. We've talked about marriage, but neither one of us is ready. Mother-in-law is too soon, but her first name is too basic. Any suggestions appreciated? Thanks. P.S. Tried to come see you in Denver, but had 2 layoffs this year. Hope to catch you next time. Sarah from Denver. Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know. Is it wrong to call her mom?
Yeah, well, is she saying mother-in-law is too soon because they're not married yet? So what's what?
Yeah, but-
Step down from mother-in-law, but a step
but
up
is it-
from Sharon.
is it calling her? Well, here's the difference. Sharon, to me, intimates that you're calling it to her face. You would never call your mother-in-law to her face. Like if you were going to call her from the other room to like grab something.
Right.
Sharon is normal. So are you
Right.
talking about when referring her to other people?
I guess. Well, maybe that's it. So maybe it's like what somebody says, like partners kind of between like the when you don't want to say boyfriend or girlfriend, you know? So like
First of
what's
all-
the in between of mother-in-law?
How often are you referring to mother-in-law? I think you just have to get over it and first name is fine or give her a nickname.
Well, so when you're talking to
Are
someone
you-
else and you're like, my boyfriend's mom, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
fine. Your partner's mom, nobody cares.
Yeah.
You're wanting a way to feel closer to her. So to her face, you can call her Ma. Are you Italian? You from the East Coast? That's okay. But it's weird because I can't tell who you're talking about.
Start calling her mommy and see what happens.
Mamita. Yeah, other cultures have like mid-mom names. Call her mid-mom.
No.
Half-mom. Halfman. I think, what's her name? Sharon?
No, I just made that up. I just was picking a name. We don't know her name.
The answer is you don't do a nickname. Nickname is for something personal that you're saying to them, and in which case it just be her name because you're close like that. Share Bear?
Her name's
you're
not
trying to-
Sharon.
You're trying to figure out an answer for a question that doesn't need to exist.
Fair.
She's like, I just wanted to participate. I'm like, well, I wish you hadn't.
No, that's not true.
Boyfriend's sister hates me.
Hello, Iliza, Emily, and the whole team. I'm a big fan of the podcast. It truly brightens up my work week. I'm a 24-year-old woman who has been in a loving relationship with my boyfriend, 26, for over 2 years. We're very excited about our future together. However, his sister, also 24, has had issues with us dating since the beginning. To provide some context, we all grew up together on the same street since 2001. I was
wow.
best friends with the sister throughout elementary, middle, and part of high school. Though we didn't have as much time to hang out in high school, there was no drama or falling out.
On
became-
to you, because you're the hot one. To you. Yeah.
I became closer to her brother during college, and we eventually started dating after being inseparable for about 2 years. Since then, his sister seemed to deliberately ignore me and not acknowledge my existence. Strangely, when we're with our friend group, just the two of us, everything seems normal and we have a good time. It truly hurts my feelings as she's always been like a sister to me, and now it feels like she hates me. During a drunken bachelorette party, I got the courage and asked her if she was uncomfortable with me dating her brother. She responded that she doesn't care and saw it coming, but she wishes she had been informed of our relationship status before our families found out. I apologized, assured her that our friendship is extremely important, and thought the issue would resolve over time with our mutual understanding. However, she still ignores me in public when I'm with my boyfriend. I'm torn between wanting to address the issue as a friend and feeling hesitant as I don't want to strain relationships. Currently, I'm meeting his extended family, and it's even worse as she sometimes avoids events if she knows I'll be there. Any insights are truly appreciated. P.S. Love your insights, and this podcast has taught me tenfold of what I would learn in a self-help book. Also, thank you, Emily, for your input. Always love hearing your perspective. I hope this is an original question. Love, Emily.
It is original because you were friends with her and because you do want to be friends. Do they file our podcast under self-help? Because I don't want to. Okay, good. Because I don't like that world.
No. It's probably comedy, and then maybe I'm sure there's like a lifestyle category or something.
Is
you
there
know?
a subcategory of self-help called others help where like you're not the problem, it's other people and we need to help the other people hoping that they're listening to your problem about them? Well, this is tough because here's what happened. You were hers first. And she feels like you went and took her brother, who she probably was close to, and you guys have sex. It's not like you're friends. So that's gross for her. And she feels that you kind of went behind her back. This thing was like, I wish you had told me first. Yeah, in the movie version, maybe. And maybe you did. Maybe you kind of snuck around, kept it a secret. So you were not friends. Like, you did not put your friendship first, which is fine. Like, people get married, they meet each other. She feels slighted. She feels disrespected. And this pain has had a chance to fester for a very long time. And it may not be because she needs to grow up, but like, it may not be comfortable to see you. What?
I mean, isn't there some sort of bro code that, like, come on, she started sleeping with the brother and she didn't tell her really close friend whose brother it was?
But you said friends for some of high school. So your whole thing is, you're like, by the time we got together, like, you and I weren't that close. So I don't really know it's not like your best friend and you did it. You're also, you don't need to ask permission. And to which she'll say, no, I just wish I knew. Because her thing is like, we were friends. We were like sisters. It's tough because you're like, we were like sisters. You're like, but we weren't really friends in high school.
Yeah.
So did you pick back up in college? It sounds a little bit like you're wanting your cake and eating it too. You're wanting to let us know you've known her forever, you're super close, but you also haven't been friends with her as of late. And this girl's thinking like, we were super close forever, and then you kind of didn't talk. We didn't really talk in high school, and now you're acting like you're this revisionist history, like we were always so close, and you're fucking my brother. And now you're everywhere. Now I'm annoyed with you and you're at everything. The fact that she chooses to skip events honestly should be a blessing for you because you don't have to deal with it. And also, I'm sorry, talking to her drunk at a wedding, like, that's not courage. No one is coming off the way that they want to. No one's ever like, I got wasted and we resolved it and we all remember exactly what we said and we all feel the same way the next day, even with different chemicals going through our blood. Take her to coffee. And speak to her. Do not be afraid of confrontation. People have this negative association. And by the way, like, I can't say I'm perfect. There are definitely people I'd rather text than talk to. But when it comes to facing a little bit of music, pick up the phone or send her a text and be like, I would love to just meet for coffee. This way, nothing gets lost. And you just be like, I just want to talk to you. I really want to know how you feel. I really want to know where you're coming from. And let her just say all of it and be like, all of that said, you're right. I probably should have said something to you if you guys were close at the time, but I can't quite gauge because I'm getting like a half truth from you. And then what?
I wonder now if you're the friend and your friend, our question asker, kind of you guys just kind of drift apart and then she starts dating their brother. I, as the sister, would wonder, did she distance herself from me because she was making moves on my brother? Like, did that play into us? Because maybe depending on how close the friendship was, she kind of was like, okay, pulling away from you now.
No, because she said not friends in high school and then they went to college together. I mean, that's a pretty big long con. Go back to what I was saying. Don't listen to what Emily said. And even though we all keep score and everyone loves Emily, take your coffee, be like, I want to hear how you feel. And then whatever she says, be like, unless it's insane, just be like, I just want you to know that I did want to, you do mean something to me and I did want to hear you. And I do love your brother. And I do want us to be friends. And I do want to move forward. I don't want you to be uncomfortable around me. I can't control the way you're going to feel, but I just want you to know that, like, I'm here with open arms. There's no disrespect intended. Like, be as disarming as possible. And if she still chooses to behave this way, then she's just a brat.
Yeah.
You're factoring in immaturity at 24, and you took her brother, and you were hers first, and you're kind of having your cake and eating it too. So just come to her and be like, what do you want to tell me that I don't know?
Yeah.
And just try saying, I'm sorry. Sober.
Yeah.
And try it from there.
The brunch.
You buy that brunch. Even if it's like a matinee brunch with a cheaper ticket.
Hi, Iliza and Emily. Please keep me anonymous if Iliza allows it. First of all, love the pod and the entire crew. Been listening since the beginning. You guys just get better each week. Don't hear that Hot Scotty jingle enough anymore, though. I would like to request it. Ha ha.
Play it.
Hot Scotty number one. Number one, Hot Scotty. Hot Scotty number two. Number two, Hot Scotty.
There we go. Nice.
Okay, here's my question. I'm on Hinge and just went on a date with this guy. Before our date, he was ... spicy in his messages, but in a tasteful way. Not, I want to bone your brains out kind of way. We had great chemistry and texted a lot back and forth with lots of jokes and flirty. So we went on a great date and ended
He's not into
together.
You. He's not into you, and that's it. and you slept with him, and he either was just not into you, he's not into you.
I
don't
thought-
even need to.
I
Yeah,
thought
he's
everything
not-
was
he's not.
great. He told me
wasn't.
he had a great time. However,
Because
since
it-
then, the texting vibes are completely different. Anything
He's not
slightly
into you.
flirty from me is ignored or avoided. So I think I'm
'Cause
being
he's-
slow faded.
Yep, he does not want to have sex with you again. You're just not his type. It was just bad. You were not.
What? I think I'm being slow faded and just matches energy and respond less frequently, but he continues to text me and will double text me sometimes. What gives? I'm confused as to why he would keep in touch if he isn't feeling it. I don't know how to respond now. Do I slow fade, cut off all communication, ask him outright? Please help me. Wise collective mother, capital M-A.
I wonder if he's keeping you on a roster. I think you had sex. I think he liked your picture. I'm just going out on a limb. The chemistry wasn't what you thought it was, or he thought it was going to be something it wasn't, or you weren't up for doing something, or whatever it was. It sounds like it was good enough to keep wasting your time, but not good enough to keep doing the part that you enjoy, which is all the texting, which is a bummer. Because it's nice to find a girl that's like, yeah, say dirty things in a tasteful way. I'm loving it. This isn't about any of that. You have two options. You can straight up call him out on it. The other, literally less than 1% chance version is he likes you so much and now he doesn't want to disrespect you by like sending you dick jokes, but I don't think that's it. You have two options. You can either point blank ask him, at which point he'll be like, I think it's the same, and he'll kind of gaslight you. Or you can decide that this isn't making you feel good and you can just fade away. And if he cares, he can pick up the phone. I'm always a little creeped out by guys that get like spicy before you've gone out. Like it's just like their catch-all. Like I just say this gross stuff to girls.
Yeah.
It also could be like his cool guy personality thing that he does, and then you meet him and
he's double texting, but has he asked you out again?
Good call, Emily. So exactly, you were good enough, you were adequate enough that he's fine to keep wasting your time. You guys slept together. And he still hasn't asked you out. Like I said, he's not into you.
Yeah, one date.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't offensive. And who knows, he might get drunk and call you again. And he knows you'll be down because you were already spicy, flirty, and slept together on the first date. So he knows you're into that, which is fine. But you want a little bit more. So perhaps it's a lesson in the way that guys talk to you right up top. I have a friend who does a lot of online dating, and she'll get these guys who she doesn't know who straight out of the gate are just like hypersexual. It is disrespectful. And you went along with it because you thought it was fun, and you might, but that type of behavior comes with these types of actions.
Yeah. I don't think you have to ghost him right now. You can see if he asks you out again. If he just keeps texting with you and not asking you out for like another couple weeks, like what are we doing here? You're
by the way,
time.
it's not like, oh, I'm shy. Like you've already seen each other naked. So what are we doing here? Next stop, the altar. Next stop, dinner with your mother every Sunday.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
But you want to do top or bottom?
Okay, you pick. Haircut, you pick.
Okay, let's start with.
I like you. By the way, the picture looks phenomenal. It's the best I've ever seen.
I need to.
As someone who
match the picture.
As someone who rarely has a good hair day, it's okay that I make fun of you because I rarely have them.
You're allowed. I knew. I could have worn a hat to this call. You're wearing a hat.
I wear hats because the sun here is unforgiving, and I don't feel like being recognized all the time. So, okay.
Bottom of the cob from a fan. Hi, Liza and Emily. My bottom of the cob is I got a new job in November. I was hired to take over the scheduling position that my trainer, who still works there, got promoted from. I was excited that I was going to be trained by the person who had the job for 10 years. I thought this would be the easiest training ever. Unfortunately, this person has so much knowledge of the job that she's a bad trainer. She just tells me to do something, but doesn't tell me why I do it so I can understand the process. And then if I have a question, she responds with a patronizing, we already went over that. Ugh. Like I'm supposed to know how to do everything the first time she shows me? Ugh. Wish me luck. Love the pod, Jules.
You didn't ask, but I would just be like, Right. And we might need to go over it again because I want to do this job just as well as you do.
Yeah.
That's so wait, is she leaving or she's just been there a while?
She's been promoted to another position, but she's been doing this job for 10 years. So she's just like, whenever you ask her anything, she's just has such an intrinsic knowledge of it. She's not teaching it well.
You literally just need to be like, I am doing my best to retain as much as I can. I'm sorry if it bothers you that I'm asking questions, but I'd rather ask you now because you're the expert versus do it wrong when I'm actually on the job. Ugh, what a bitch.
I will
That's such
flag
a shitty answer.
if you can visibly take notes, that would help. Just so that even if you're like clocking away or typing it, like write something down in front of her while she's explaining, just so that she knows. Because in her mind, if you're standing there looking at her, she's like, oh, she's not
wasting
listening.
her time.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? Instead of taking notes, just keep writing her name down over and over and then write your own name down and then switch your last names to look like you want to see what it looked like if you guys got married and just keep writing those things down on the paper. Like just keep writing like Jillian with like a heart over it. And she's like, why are you writing my name? Be like, I just want you to know I'm taking notes. And I drew this pyramid and this eye. Okay. What's yours?
My bottom of the cob is my car had like a leak, and so it got full of water and mold, and so it had to be taken in and cleaned. And we took it to a repair person, and they couldn't find the leak. So now it's every 6 hours I go out and change the towels to new towels because I'm trying to soak up the water. I had to buy something called Dry Rid and put it in there. I'm like literally like every few hours I'm going out there and swapping towels. Like it's absurd. There's no. Everything just, things are wrong in so many different ways where you're like, well, how is this a problem? It's very annoying.
It's just part of owning anything. Like my refrigerator that stopped making ice and it's an $1,800 fix. Even after I tried to fix it myself and I was really proud of myself and it didn't. Did you know that you have to like clean the inside of your fridge? Like the vent? I didn't know.
Well, and especially if you have like a filter.
Yeah, the filter is a fucking scam. We should be able to drink our own water. But no one's allowed to talk about that.
Big water is keeping you down.
You know what? I definitely won't drink out of ever again or plastic bottles. Too many. And then you're shaming people who drink it out of that. Like it's just endless. Like there's no good option. Okay.
There was a video I saw that would be, I didn't send it to you because I was like, I'm not even going to put you through this. Somebody filling their Stanley Cup with water bottles of water, plastic
all the time.
Water bottles. I was like,
sometimes those people live in areas with like really bad water.
Get
so
a
it's
Brita.
like, yeah, I mean, Brita's great if you just wanted like a sip of water and then you want to watch it filter for an hour. Some people live in places where you don't trust the water, but like if you live, for the most part, it's probably fine. I hate when you're at a restaurant and they're like filter or tap and you're like filter and then they bring you like a sealed bottle of water. I meant filter through your sink.
Right.
Fucking scammers. Fucking tap. It's probably better than the plastic microbes that are in garbage like Sparkletts water. There's a Sparkletts facility in Los Feliz, and when you drive by it, you just see those giant office, like multi-gallon buckets sitting in the sun, just baking.
Leaching the plastic in.
100%. So shame on you, Sparkletts. My bottom of the cob is not dissimilar to yours in that it has to do with a smell. I was painting the tree. That doesn't come from me, though. I was painting the tree in my new baby's room, and I had the window open, because I'm painting. And it was late at night last night. It was just at night, and I smell what smells like weed. And I was like, oh, I fucking hate that smell because I live in LA. So everywhere is just like, oh, we're getting high. It's legal. So I shut the window because I'm like, I'd rather just inhale fumes than even smell weed. And then I quickly realized it wasn't weed. It's an actual skunk. And I'm like, oh, that's so gross. So like the front part of my house smells like a skunk.
Well, you got skunked before in the back.
Oh, yeah. Whole family of them. I saw the little black beady eye under the floorboards. We leave today. We're in the car. And by the way, I'm saying no, and I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, do you smell that? He's like, I don't. The contractors smell it. It's not like Noah's calling me crazy, but it is annoying that we both can't be annoyed at it.
Yeah.
Get in the car. And I'm like, the car, like we're driving. I'm downtown. I'm like, it smells like skunk in my car. And I'm like, did it crawl into the engine block? Did it spray around the garage? Like, why does my car... And then it's like, okay, let's get some sort of skunk, not repellent, but odorizer, neutralizer.
Right.
Oh, it's impossible to find because you can't call Home Depot or Petco because no one answers the phone and nothing online is ever available in the Hollywood location. You got to go to fucking Gardena. So I'm just going to light a candle and hope for the best.
Good luck to you.
It's my bottom is skunk. Just also, I'm like, no one, you just did this on purpose. Like no one was hunting you or scared you. There's no reason to spray.
Right.
Asshole. Asshole with an asshole. All right. Top of the cob.
Top of the cob. The fan top of the cob. It says fan top of the cob. The cob. My top of the cob is overhearing positive news about a friend. I live in a fairly small town. The other day, I overheard someone saying that my friend's mom is the best massage therapist in town. And today, I overheard someone saying another friend is doing awesome at their new job.
Is the best unlicensed massage therapist in town.
That is very nice.
That is nice. It is nice. Yeah. That's always good to hear positive things. And then you get to text that friend and be like, guess what I heard?
Right. Legit. Like just out in the streets, real word of mouth.
I love that. All right, you go.
My top of the cob is I love eating little bites of things. And I've gone back to my first love, adult Lunchables, which is like some other companies make little trays that have like a decent cheese and a salami and like a rye bread cracker in a little container. And then I eat my adult Lunchable for lunch and I have a nice time. And I love it.
What happens in that container that served no purpose other than to like keep those three things that you could have bought cheaper at the deli counter separate?
But then I'd have to. But that's not the top. My top of my cob wouldn't be I had to prepare myself a charcuterie platter. My top of my cob is I got a little pre-made snack.
All right. My top of the cob is a little weird, but basically lately I've just been feeling like I listen, there's like two podcasts I listen to and I've been like, can I find someone who I listen to like Lore, like
Lore and Hours. Yeah. What else?
For Quality Assurance, which always pays off. That's it. I don't really want to listen to the self-help ones. The comedy ones, I think there's always like a big set of quotation marks around a lot of comedy podcast ones.
Mm-hmm.
But my interests aren't that. I get enough comedy at work. My interests are I always want to know why. I always want context and answers why society is the way it is. Why we make the choices we make, why things feel the way that they do. And I randomly, when I was painting, turned on Ezra Klein's podcast. And he had a writer on his podcast named Kyle Chaika, who has a book coming out, which is basically talks about how algorithms have like flattened our culture. I think that's the name of the book. And it's just about how everything has become homogenized. And his whole thing is about like, why doesn't the internet feel good anymore? And it's a question I had been asking myself. Like you stay up scrolling, always looking for what's going to feel good. And that has to do with like the gamification of social media. Because you look at these videos hoping the next one will be great. This comes on the heels of me realizing like at night, I get a lot more conspiracy videos, a lot more sad videos. And you have to realize it is people making money off of just upsetting you, off of making you feel nervous, off of offering you half-truths. And just to kind of hear like these algorithms that were designed initially to make our lives easier along with technology. Now, everyone gets served the same thing and everyone's personality is kind of the same online. The more I look online, the more I'm realizing like everybody buys the same girly skincare, does the same nail clack, gets these Stanley mugs. And it's not that you can't like those things, but people's personalities and tastes have been curated to kind of be the same. And I've never felt like I liked any of that. And so I feel even better because I've had the benefit of like thinking for myself. The way we speak is the same. And this all has to do with things that are learned online. And he was talking about coffee shops. And he was like, he said this and I DM'd this person because I was like, I noticed the same thing. You can go to coffee shops, independent coffee shops in Tokyo, Mexico City, Vancouver, Australia, and you will be sort of given the same type of coffee shop, which is like Scandi, minimalist, three things written on on wood shelves with black lettering, single origin, roast, espresso, but the vibe is always the same. And they were just talking about how like, collectively we've come up with an aesthetic, this like overgrown, in my mind, elder millennial aesthetic, that even though you're in a different country, it's not reflective of the culture there, but it's reflective of a culture that we find comforting. And I just thought that was interesting. Just the best way to put it, homogenization of our taste. And how it used to be, you would follow people that were tastemakers for their hot takes, curated taste. And now it's accounts, it's algorithms, it's companies, it's just bigger. And so it was just nice to know I'm not crazy. Nice to know that my ick at all of these things is totally warranted. That's it. It was just nice to like find the perfect podcast in the perfect moment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think I wrote too much to him on DM because he didn't write back.
He's scared now.
That's fine. Just like, so happy to find someone that let me know I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
you can see it in like
satisfying feeling.
You see it in like girly craft shops, like when you take a walk around like down the cool street, whether you're in Columbus, Ohio, or Seattle, or wherever. You go to these girl stores, they sell it's like Plant Lady, like Bitch Juice, like Cool Girl Club, like everything looks the same. And I used to talk about this in my stand-up, and nobody wanted to hear it. Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a machine gun, like Badass Bitch Feminist Club. And it's become this commodified version of feminism that I'm like, real women doing shit. Like, I don't need a fucking doily that's got my ovaries forming like a middle finger. Like, I'm good. Anyways, just remember, whatever you like, you've been told to like it by someone who's making money off of the fact that you just bought it versus observing quietly. Anyways, it felt good. Even though it sounds sad, it was my top of the cup.
All right.
Okay, well, don't say all right. That makes it sound like I was a lunatic and you're like,
No,
well,
okay.
this has been great.
All right. How would you like to close out the show?
In closing, get a large round brush, keep all the hairs moving the same way, curl under, and flatten only what you need to. And watch a tutorial.
Here's my question. I guess I need a tutorial. It's like, I don't want it all in one. I want it in pieces. But
you need product.
I guess I need a tutorial to...
You might want to get them cut. Like there's a way to cut that like upward, but you also need product.
Oh my God.
You might need like a wax to do some product to make it piecey.
I'm going to just have Ace Ventura hair.
Lord Farquaad.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.